Welcome back. I'm Austin Westfall. Well, today was the day. Thousands of pages of previously unseen files related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy were released today. Right now, over 1,100 documents totaling roughly 80,000 pages are visible on the National Archives website. This comes after President Trump's push to release the files, and standing by is a man who knows the history of the assassination well, presidential historian and author James Robinall.
Welcome back to History Unfolding Before Our Eyes. Today, the world took another step closer to solving one of the most enduring mysteries of modern times, the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. After decades of speculation, secrecy, and controversy, the National Archives has revealed over 100 previously unseen files, totaling a staggering 80,000 pages of information. These documents, now publicly available on the National Archives website, have reignited questions about what really happened on November 22nd, 1963, and who may have been involved. But what do these newly uncovered files reveal? Are they shedding light on the true events of that fateful day? Or are they introducing even more complexity into an already tangled web of theories and possibilities? To help us navigate the sea of revelations, let's start with the context. The push to get these documents released came from none other than former President Donald Trump, who ordered their declassification. Historians, journalists, and truth seekers around the world watched closely as the files were uploaded earlier today, eager to piece together a clearer picture. Among those taking on this challenge is presidential historian and author James Robinall, who has spent years scrutinizing the gaps in the official narrative. Robinall suggests that these documents present a treasure trove of information, with most of them focusing on the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. One of the key revelations, details about Operation Mongoose, the CIA's covert plan to assassinate Cuban leader Fidel Castro during the early 1960s. The documents delve into tactics that sound more like scenes from a spy thriller than real history, recruiting mafia figures, plotting poison pills, and elaborate schemes to destabilize the Castro regime. But there's more. One particularly chilling document mentions sightings of Lee Harvey Oswald, Kennedy's alleged assassin, at a nightclub weeks before the assassination, possibly accompanied by Jack Ruby, the man who later killed Oswald. This connection raises questions about how deeply Oswald was intertwined with other players in this deadly drama. Another revelation involves a discrediting of the famous single bullet theory. According to this theory, one bullet was responsible for the multiple injuries sustained by Kennedy and Texas Governor John Connally. However, the pristine bullet discovered by Secret Service agent Paul Landis behind Kennedy's limo seat challenges this idea. Landis asserts that this bullet never passed through Kennedy and Connally as claimed, meaning there wasn't enough time for Oswald to fire multiple shots from his bolt-action rifle. If true, this detail alone could prove what conspiracy theorists have suspected for decades, that there were multiple shooters. So what does it all mean? Are we staring at the outlines of a conspiracy? Robinall believes so. He argues that the documents hint at CIA involvement in anti-Castro operations and ties to Oswald's activities in New Orleans during the summer of 1963. Could the anti-Castro group have used Oswald as a pawn, framing him as the sole gunman to divert attention from a larger plot? The puzzle pieces seem to be falling into place, but the picture isn't yet complete. Naturally, with revelations like these, it's fair to question the long-standing official narrative that Oswald acted alone, an idea enshrined in the Warren Commission report released just months after Kennedy's death. Robinall points out the urgency of the original report. President Lyndon Johnson and FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover were desperate to control public perception, fearing that the assassination might spark World War III if linked to Cuba or the Soviet Union during the height of the Cold War. Their solution? Pin the act on a lone gunman, an explanation they knew would struggle to hold under scrutiny. But why did it take 6 decades for these documents to see the light of day? Robinall reminds us that protecting sensitive operations and individuals was a priority for U.S. presidents and intelligence agencies. Even as the years passed, some of the figures involved in the operations connected to them remained active. It wasn't until recent years, with pressure mounting from researchers and the public alike, that the government finally agreed to disclose the files. While these newly released records give us tantalizing glimpses of the truth, they also remind us of the dangers of misinformation. For decades, conspiracy theories have swirled around Kennedy's death, ranging from CIA plots to mafia vendettas to shadowy figures acting at the behest of foreign governments. So how can we differentiate reliable sources from baseless speculation? Experts like Jefferson Morley and the Mary Farrell Foundation emphasize the importance of grounding theories in evidence. For every claim made, there should be primary documents and tangible proof to back it up. No leap leaps into fantasy, no convenient narrative twists. Conspiracies thrive on uncertainty, but facts are the antidote. And what does the future hold? According to Robinault, this release is just the beginning. More documents are expected to follow, including over 2,400 FBI records rumored to contain fresh insights. Researchers, historians, and amateur detectives will spend months, if not years, analyzing the files, poring over memos, and mapping connections. The big picture may remain elusive, but one thing is clear. We're closer than ever to solving a mystery that has haunted America for generations. So here we stand in 2023, peering into the shadows of 1963. The assassination of President Kennedy was more than a tragedy. It was an intersection of politics, power, and secrecy. As we sift through these newly released files, one question looms larger than ever. Who truly pulled the strings that day in Dallas? The answer may finally be within reach.